it's 13th Wolfman. You know what? We're doing another Brother Max challenge. That's right. Another Brother Max challenge. So if you don't know what the Brother Max challenge is, Max, James, and I, we got together last year. We started challenging each other to show stuff off in our collections. You know, we'd set up a criteria, you know, and say, hey, I want you to show me this kind of movie. And then he'd show me, and then he'd ask me to show something that fits the criteria of his. Well, we started up season 2. This is it. And that's where we're at right now. Before I get started, I want to ask you to like, subscribe, share, and comment. I always want to know what you have to say. And when you do subscribe, hit that bell. That way you'll be notified anytime I put something new up. Now I'm putting Brother Max's link down in the description. So check him out. It's the one and only MSJ. Also, I have time codes and chapters down in the description. So if there's any parts of the video you want to skip to, you could use that, or you could use the chapter selections right here in the I don't know what you call it, the scruff bar. You know, as the thing plays, you just see a little ball go along. There's ways to get to that, so check that out. Now, to get to the challenge, I asked him to show me 3 movies with 3 different overhyped, overplayed, and overlooked. I got 2 of them in my hands. The overplayed one, it's in the collection. I just didn't want to dig it out, you know. It's to the point where there's a lot of stuff stacked on it, you know. So let's just start with overhyped. Overhyped. So to me, something that's overhyped means that everyone's told me all about this movie, and that they've all said that this is like the greatest movie ever, or one of the best movies ever, or this is a really good movie. Something to back it, you know, something to state that, to make that statement, and nothing really to back it up. So for about 10 years, I'd heard nothing but great things about this movie, and then when I watched it, I was bored. It didn't live up to the hype. See what I'm getting at? Overhyped. And that is, this movie was just garbage to me. Cloverfield. Now, there's a lot of people out there that are just screaming right now at the screen going, Wolfie, how can you do this, man? How can you say that Clover... I didn't like it, man. I mean, I don't know what it is, but for some reason, I waited 10 years to see this movie because I didn't see the movie when it came out. I finally picked up a copy of it like at Best Buy for like $3 or something like that. I'm like, hey, okay. I finally got around to watching it, and it wasn't good. The story was just blasé. The CGI looked like crap, and I wasn't really happy with the acting either. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, some of the actors in this movie are decent actors, but the movie itself just does not work. I don't understand why people like this movie in particular. I liked 10 Cloverfield Lane. I thought that was a good movie. That was more fun than this movie. And I haven't seen the Cloverfield Paradox or whatever it is. But this is just ick. So this is overhyped. Then you got Overplayed, which is the one I don't have pulled out. Overplayed to me is, I said to him, I go, Max, we're both in Facebook groups. We've seen a lot of people talk about a lot of movies and what they plan on watching for that weekend, or, you know, and what do you think an overplayed movie is that you see? Now, it could be something that you watch all the time. It could be something that you see everyone. To me, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love this movie, but I don't see, I don't know, I just see that everyone seems to love it more. I like this movie, but there's like a lot of love for this movie that, I mean, it's a good movie, and people claim that it's the first slasher, which it's not, and that's Halloween. I think Halloween is way overplayed by the public. I mean, it's a good movie, but first off, it's not the first slasher film. It's nowhere near being the first slasher film. Halloween came out in 1978. The Town of Dread Sundown came out in 1976. Black Christmas came out in, 1973? You know? And before that, Bay of Blood came out in 1972 by Mario Bava. Bay of Blood goes by a couple of different names, but if it wasn't for Bay of Blood, you wouldn't have Friday the 13th Part 2, because a lot of the kills in Bay of Blood were in Friday the 13th Part 2. You know? Halloween is okay. I like it. I will dig that movie out from time to time to watch it, but it's not one of those movies where I have to own like 37 copies and watch it every weekend and, you know, memorize all the dialogue in the movie. It's a good movie, but I think it's overplayed by the public a lot. Now we're going to get to Overlooked. And Overlooked is that movie that you have in your collection that you never hear anyone talk about. You know, and I'm trying to go all horror here. So I'm like, okay, what do I have that no one talks about? And there are movies that aren't talked about as much, but I never hear anyone bring this movie up. You know, it had a run in the theaters. It came out on DVD and I think Blu-ray. I'm not positive about the Blu-ray part. But it was just one of those ones that kind of got lost in the mix. I think it came out around 2007, 2008, somewhere in there. You know, and it's Timber Falls. People are going, what? What's this? What's Timber Falls? I've never heard of it. Timber Falls is probably one of the most twisted. I can see that this movie was inspired by stuff like Wrong Turn. You know, this girl goes up to Timber Falls, does a little skinny dipping, gets kidnapped. And, I mean, I don't want to give too much away, because if you can find a copy of this, check it out. It claims to be a thriller. You see, it says right on the back, an intense and twisted thriller. I'm like, yeah, I guess it's a thriller. It's not really horror. It's a thriller. But for this list, it was the one movie that I'm like, I need to talk about this, or people will just kind of like go, oh, you're picking that movie. This movie basically has nobody in it except for Beth Broderick, who was one of the aunts on Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the one that's not Caroline Rhea, you know. So, yeah, this is my Overlooked. I don't hear anyone talk about this, and it's a fun movie to watch. And yeah, so Timber Falls. I don't know what else to say. Now, Max asked me, you know, so this is what we do. He'll say, okay, now I've answered my question. Now I need to answer his question. His question was, show him a movie from my collection from the year I was born. And I'm always blocking this one movie. It's right. Oh, turned the wrong way. It's right here. And that is, let me dig it out for you. And gotta move Michael Myers, of course. Bonnie and Clyde. This is the gift set edition. Warren Beatty, Faye Dunaway, Gene Hackman, Bonnie and Clyde. This is one of the best movies out there. This is what comes in it. Look at that. How crazy is that? I got it at I got this at Bed Bath & Beyond for $9.99, if you believe it. Comes with a book. It comes with the movie. It comes with, 36-page hardcover book, rare behind-the-scenes photos, 24-page reproduction of the original 67 press book. So that's it. the movie from the year I was born, Bonnie and Clyde. Now, I need to ask Max a question. And here it is. I'm going to piggyback off your question a little bit here, Brother Max. So you want me to show you a movie from the year I was born. I want you to show me a movie from your youth that helped turn you into a cinephile, a movie freak, someone that loves movies. So your youth, as defined, will be from the year you were born to the age of 12. That's it. That's your scale. You only get the movies that were made in those years, right? And show me a movie. I mean, it doesn't matter. It could be horror. It could be animated. It could be drama. It could be a comedy. Anything in there that you're like, oh, this is it. I love movies. It's attached itself to my DNA. You know, something like that. Something that just from the age of born to the age of 12. That's your scale. You know, I'm not saying the teen years because in the teenage years you're more adult. People start treating you more as a young man or a young lady. And there are some religions that see 13 as the year of the young man or young lady. So we're just going with birth to 12 to the age of 12. That's it. And I want to know what's that movie? What's that movie between that timeline that helped you become a major cinephile? As always, I am the 13th Wolfman. That is my question, and of course, I'm on the prowl.